want to truly be able to deliver the promise of chiropractic, that for me is worth devoting my life to. So how is it that those masters do what they do? And also, how can I understand this thing called chiropractic in a way that truly comes even close to expressing its possibility? Because think about this. Universal intelligence, we talk about the fact that it's perfect. Well, first off, perfect? It's an ideal I can kind of sort of maybe conceive of. And I can see perfection in our frailties and perfection in the imperfections, essentially. But to even be able to verbalize what perfect is a little challenging, if I'm honest with myself. Then we talk about the fact that universal intelligence is infinite. It's infinite in its potential and its possibility. For me, I could devote a life just to contemplating that. Because here's the deal. As chiropractors, we are releasing the interference to the infinite possibility and potential within each one of us. You ever thought about what that means? You ever thought about truly what that means? Got a question for you. Does that necessarily have anything to do with moving bones? Only? Does it? Does it even speak a whole lot about people being out of pain? Because I tell you what, there's perfection in that pain. Here's the thing that if we take it really far out, and I tell you what, I've ruffled a few people's feathers with this statement. Does maintenance care make any sense in any way, shape, or form if we are about releasing the interference to an infinite possibility? Does it? Come on, straight up, does it?
No, not at all.
However, what I understand by many of the people, my peers in the profession, is that one of my goals as a chiropractor is to adjust people, to get them to a place where I can then release them to maintenance care. I hear that and I go, ew. Because here's how that is. It's like the president, Dr. Guy Reekman, coming in here and saying, you know, guys, right now, where you are, in your chiropractic education, wherever that may be, right now, you guys are really doing well. You guys are doing so well that, you know what? We're so proud of you. We're just going to maintain you here for the rest of your lives. And the silent word after that is that because this is as good as it gets. How many people want to sign up for that? And yet, so often we're willing to accept that for ourselves and for the people we serve. You ever really think about that? The only way maintenance care makes any sense, as far as I'm concerned, and you're being subjected to the world that I live in right now, the only way that makes sense is if the work that you do is about biomechanical structural integrity, getting them out of pain and then keeping them there. Or if you offer something more, but the person chooses that for themselves. And I tell you what, I know a lot of students who love being in college and keep switching their majors, and they are the lifelong student. Not as we all are, even as we move on in life, but, you know, It's like, I am the king or queen of the party scene at college campuses, and so I'm staying here a student forever. People choose that. The question is that enough for you? Is that enough for you? And quite honestly, I know it's not enough for me. Whether it's enough for you, that's entirely your game. Because one thing that I've learned in life is that we live life with different perspectives. I had kind of an interesting childhood. I love my parents. They were divorced when I was 9. Thank you, right? But I tell you what, 2 different people you could not find on the planet. My dad is this small town country boy, farm boy, quiet, humble so far to the extreme that we were pretty much raised with, don't be too this, don't be too that, what'll the neighbors think? Quiet, quiet. Pride is a terrible, terrible thing. You live your life quietly, humbly. Please don't cause any waves. Because we're just here to go along. My mom is a city girl, totally into theater. She's 73, and I'm proud to say in May is going to graduate from the University of Northern Kentucky with a degree in theater and musical theater, and is going to hit Broadway and set it on fire, I have no doubt. Is bigger than life, needs more attention, I say lovingly, than any person that I know. And is like, you know what? People got to know you're there. You got to make an impact on the planet. You got to be big. And be willing to say, whoa, I am good. These are my parents. You're raised with 2 parents like this, you got a couple choices. Live life in polarity, side with one or the other, or you realize that life is perspective. And depending on your perspective, you're going to experience and view it differently. If we walked outside and I said to you, okay, take a look at that tree. But you have a lot of trees here, it's very nice. And I were to ask you, how fast is that tree moving? I would imagine maybe there's a fair number of you that go, okay, oh my God, this is a complete waste of our time. She's just proved it now. It's not moving at all. Thank you very much. And they'd say, no, it's not moving. And you know what? From one perspective, that is absolutely true. But guess what? If you take a little step back and a little look up, you see that those little tiny branches on the tree, the little breeze that's going on, are moving. And there is movement in that tree. And if you add it all together, you could perhaps justify that that tree's moving collectively maybe about 1,000 miles an hour. Guess what? If you take a step a little further back and you realize that that tree sits on a planet that's revolving and turning to about 1,000 miles an hour, you're going, oh my gosh, that tree's moving pretty fast. If you take a step back a little further and realize that that revolving planet is also orbiting around the sun to the tune of about 65,000 miles an hour, you're like, that tree's moving incredibly fast. If you take into account then that our solar system is actually orbiting through the Milky Way at a tune of about 500,000 miles an hour, and that the Milky Way, our galaxy, is actually expanding as part of the collective universe and also moving through the universe, and that some people think that we live in a multi-universe and that our universe is then moving relative to other universes, you could easily justify that that tree's moving well above 1,000,000 miles an hour. Easily. Depending on your perspective. If you take a look closer and closer and closer in, you realize that the structure that makes up that tree is vibrating. There's movements of fluids through the structure of the tree. There's expansion, contraction of the cells of the tree. And ultimately, if you keep magnifying it, you're going to see that at its core, it's all vibration and tone. There's tremendous moving happening in a simple thing of a tree. So question is, and what I challenge you to take a look at, is truly, What perspective do you want to have on this thing called chiropractic?